So in this video, we're going to talk about different ways that you set up Tinkercad to create 3D designs that we can then print on our 3D printers. These are the skills we're going to go over, and we'll just go over one skill at a time. So I'll bounce back between this screen and Tinkercad. So the first skill we need to make sure we have down is how to set up our workspace and the units. So we do this by clicking down here in the bottom right and edit grid. And we're generally going to be using inches, so we change the units to inches. And then we can set our grid size to anything, but a good place to start would just be 8 by 8 inches. So this is going to give us an 8 by 8 inch grid. Down here underneath the edit grid button, there's a way that we can change what our objects snap to. And what that means is if I drag this out here and click on a corner and move it, it's going to move at 1/8 inch increments. And that's called snapping. So we can change that. We can turn it off completely, and that lets us move our shape anywhere or resize it to any size. Or we can change it to different fractions of an inch, but I like keeping it at 1/8 of an inch for some of our designs that we'll be working on. It just makes our designs a little more clean and easier to keep things at a realistic size. Next is how do we move shapes? So we already dragged a box in here. We can drag another shape. So when you click on here and move over to the work plane, any shape that you want to select, you just click on it and drag it over. When you need to move things in the work plane, you can click and drag them around. We can also move things up by selecting it and choosing the black triangle that shows up above. Oops, that's the rotation triangle. This triangle here, and that moves it up. If I want to move it down, I can look at it from underneath and click on this triangle again, and that will move it down. The way we can move around in our screen, we can either use this box in the top left corner that gives us different perspectives. That's one way to do it. Or you can use your mouse and click on the right button and hold it down as you drag, and this allows you to orbit around your project. You can also click the scroll wheel, and this allows you to pan and look at your project left to right or up and down. So there's a couple of different ways to move around. If you get lost, if you're somewhere way out here and you're not really sure what you're looking at, you can use this box to go back and click on top view, and it's going to bring you back to your original view. Using shapes, we already kind of went into that, but any shape that you like, just click and drag. Resize it by grabbing the white boxes on the corners. You can also resize it by using the black boxes. You can move things up and down by using the black arrow. You can also rotate. When I click on a shape, these rotation angles show up. This will rotate it on the work surface, on the work plane. This angle will rotate it left and right. And there's one other way we can rotate. If we move our view a little bit, we'll get these other rotation options that show up, and we can rotate things this way. It's important when you're rotating that you notice the difference. If you're way out here with your mouse, you can rotate by each degree individually. If you're inside the compass, it will rotate only certain degrees. So this is a good way to be exact by increments of, looks like 22.5 degrees, or you can be really precise by going out here and zooming or rotating only by 1 degree at a time.